I just finished my PhD 1 year ago, and I was working on developing economics, and doing some part of my research for my PhD was done on school-to-work transition, so very similar on youth labor market outcomes. Inside the STYLE project, I'm working on working package 10, which is about flexicurity. We're using EUC longitudinal data, and we're trying to switching from a very static approach of measuring labor market performance to a more dynamic view. So we are taking information for 3 years. So it's a trajectories of employment statuses, and we're trying to qualify their performance based on this dynamic view. So we're looking at young people at the beginning of their entrance on the labor market, and then a second phase, which is 5 years about after they finish their education, and try to see how different policies impact their performance on the labor market. We're taking the measurements that we construct, and we try to see what is the impact of gender or education, or more likely the employment protection legislation for different type of contracts on the employment status trajectories of these young people. The main findings, an interesting one, are the gender dimension. So as I said, we look at 2 different periods of time of the labor market entrance of the young people, and we notice that even if they, women and men, they enter with the same opportunities in the labor market, in 5 years their gender gap, it's increasing. So we find that women are less able to find a secure job or a better quality job, or to resist on the labor market. We found out that education is really important, both in ensuring a very fast transition from school to work, but also to find a more qualitative job after 5 years. So education is really important both in the first phase and the second phase. Employment protection legislation also plays a role, especially the employment protection legislation for temporary contracts. So we found out that it's very important that this employment protection legislation be loosened so they will help the performance of young people. So at the same level of education, women just don't seem to perform for some kind of reason, institutional or maybe labor market structure, they seem to perform worse than men in the second phase, while in the first phase they enter with the same opportunities, and there's no difference between them. So the policy implication in respect to the gender gap that we found between men and women in the second phase could address a way to keep the women in the labor market, but also to make them being more secure and to find more ease to find a job after maybe they have a leave from the job. Apparently this is the main problem, that there is this career break, that women are not able to regain the same level as they were when they left. So a set of measures in bridging this gap will help them find a stable employment later. As for the education is always having an impact also in the beginning of first phase, but also the second phase. So there the policy implications are relevant. That just more education is better to ensure both fast entrance in the labor market, but also quality employment later on. As for the employment protection legislation, it seems like the employment protection legislation for temporary contract should be rethink a bit, because apparently it's not a way to ensure a better quality employment for young people as it was thought at the beginning.